Hello and welcome to this video where I want to show you how to animate in PowerPoint, for example, a title slide like that with those organic moving circles. Let's get right into the design. If you want to quickly design that, just go to Insert Shapes, insert a circle, press Shift, create a circle, make it really big, shape outline, no outline, shape fill, decide upon the color scheme. I've decided for a red-gray color scheme here, so I'll simply use the red. And what I did, I just pressed Ctrl D to duplicate this, and I populated the slide so it isn't so boring with a couple of circles. Just create a couple of circles so you have a design similar to this. They can be smaller or bigger, it depends on your taste. Alright, when it comes to the color, I've switched a couple of colors to a gray one so it isn't so uniform. This would be the design we have. Additionally, you can decide if you want a couple of lines here and of course the text in the middle. For the lines, I simply inserted a rectangle shape, a small rectangle shape like that. I pressed Ctrl D and I basically grouped them. Shift click to select both, Ctrl G, and if you want them to look exactly like those circles, just click on any of the circles, for example the red ones or maybe the gray ones, Home, Format Painter, and by clicking it will paint the entire format over. That is the entire design part condensed in a really couple of steps. I'll duplicate this a couple of times, but maybe let's do that later because we will still apply animations. This tutorial is mostly about animation. Of course, for the text in the middle, I need to simply insert a text box, a bigger text box. I created it like that. I simply clicked on the text box in the middle, white text. And for the font, I've used Blato Black, but of course you can use a different font. I made that bigger like that, placed it in the middle, and I highlighted a couple of letters. You can easily highlight letters with the colors here. For example, black works well with the red one. This would be the design part. Now the most important part here, animation, how to make this really interesting. Let's start by going to the animation pane, opening the animation pane so you'll see what we are doing. I want to start with the circle because it's the central and focal point of this entire animation. I'll open the animations, and from the green animations I'll select zoom because I want this circle to zoom into my face. What I don't like is that the animation is so quick, so I will extend the duration to 1 second and I'll make all the animations always with previous because I want everything to flow naturally without me clicking the mouse. The second thing is the text. For the text, I recommend using the fade animation because it will always look good. If you make a slow fade animation, bear with me here, we have the fade animation on this text. Again, with previous, give it a slight delay so they overlap both each other, for example 0.75. You can double click on this existing animation, this fade animation. A couple of options appear. The one option I want to adjust here is going to the effect option, animate text by letter, and reducing the percentage of delay between letters to 3% because else this will take very long. If you press OK, you will receive an animation like that. If that is too quick for you, either extend the duration to 0.75 or just go inside here, go to effects and raise the percentage number so the letters will appear slower between each other. Right now we have an animation like that, and this is the perfect start into the middle part of our entire animation. Now for the circles, how to make them organic and moving, because this would be very boring, only an animation in the middle. And this will teach you a lot about PowerPoint animation, because some animations, let's start with this circle and we'll copy over the animation to the other ones. I'll start with this circle. I open the animations and I actually want to use emphasis effects. In the emphasis effects, we have grow, shrink. Usually grow, shrink looks like that. Pretty ugly. It just grows towards us. I'll immediately right click and start it with previous. So it starts with the previous animation. Double click on it and we need to do a couple of adjustments here. You could do adjustments for each shape separately or just do one uniform animation and copy it over. I'll select the size to 120%, smooth start and smooth end. This means that it will start a little bit slower and end a little bit slower. Why am I telling that it will shrink? Because I will select auto reverse. This will make sure that the animation will go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like that. it will get large and small. You can again double click on this animation, and on the timing options, there is something like repeat. I will repeat this animation until end of slide. This is perfect. Now this animation will take as long as I wish it to. And simply copy over the animation to the other objects. This is super simple because you can click on the circle, press a very weird shortcut, Alt-Shift-C. The animation painter appears next to my mouse. If something doesn't work with this shortcut, just go to animations and click on the animation painter. I will click away, click away. Okay, all the circles, click away, have the same animation now. In order for it to not be so uniform across the entire screen, I will just click on each animation and give it a slight delay. It doesn't really matter how much because I will still do another animation on top of it. Let's preview what we have. Currently, we have this animation in the middle and those organic circles. Everything has a different animation to it. Now the last are those lines. And for the lines, I recommend using a different animation, namely wipe. Wipe, but change this wipe in the effects options to start from left. You can see this is now a weird animation with a click. So I'll go with previous, or I will put it here above the yellow ones. I will give it no delay because it basically can start from the beginning of the slide. Duration 1 second. Let's play from and let's see what happens. Okay, you can see the wipe happens from the left. Another adjustment is again to repeat this animation so it repeats over and over. Click on the lines to know which it is. Okay, repeat until end of slide. And perfect. If you want more of those lines, Ctrl D, put them here, right click, send to back. Oh, this isn't transparent now. I wanted this to be a bit transparent. Right click, format shape. I'll give it slight transparency so we have like more freedom with the animations. You can immediately notice the lines go way too fast. This can be easily adjusted. You can select all 3 of those animations, you can reshuffle them. With my shift key, I will select all of them and I'll increase the duration to 2.5 seconds or something like that. Okay, the animations are now much slower. I also don't like that they start on the same time. I'll click on each of them and just delay it randomly. Half a second, 1 second, or 125. And this would be perfect. Every one of those animations gets a different wipe and a different look. Now this is the finished animation, but what I don't like about this animation, that the circles appear immediately on the screen. I will insert a new circle or a rectangle, it doesn't really matter. I will insert a rectangle, I will get away with this, and I will simply cover up this existing circle. Shape outline, no outline, shape fill, eyedropper, and select the color of the background. Now watch what happens. Until I make this shape disappear, the circle will not be visible. It will animate in the background, but until I get rid of this black rectangle, this circle will not be visible, and this will enhance this animation and make you look like a professional motion graphic artist within PowerPoint. Go to animations, open the animations, and simply select a fade off animation. I will increase the duration to 1 second. I will select with previous, and you only need to look at those yellow animations. I will put it here so I'll exactly know when that starts, and I will simply duplicate this rectangle a couple of times to cover up all my circles. This circle here, this one here, this one here. Okay, and I got away with this. Okay, I have those animations. Just for organization, I'll put them in front here. And that's the beauty of having a separate animation, a separate red animation and exit animation, because I can simply play around with the delay. Maybe this kind of delay, maybe this kind of delay, maybe this kind of delay. Let me show you the final result. Beautiful. Everything seems to work fine. The animation will last as long as you want it on the screen. If you'd like to learn more about animation, there is a link to my online course. You can check it out. You will learn basically everything there is to know about animating in PowerPoint. This would give you extensive knowledge, no matter if you just do presentations or if you want to just focus on animation. This is one of my favorite topics. Thank you very much for watching and see you in another lecture.